stop right there. Before you say another word, ask yourself, are you just talking or are you actually convincing people? Did you know that every time you open your mouth, you are selling something? Whether it's an idea to your boss, a movie choice to your friend, or your own expertise in a high-stakes interview, the specific English words you choose determine whether you win the deal or walk away empty-handed. Today, we are giving you the secret keys to the boardroom so you never lose a negotiation again.
Hello, hello, and a truly magnificent welcome back to day 21 of our 60-day Spoken English podcast. Wow, Sam, that was a powerful hook. And hello to all our listeners. Just stop for a second. Take a deep breath. Do you realize where we are? We have officially completed 3 full weeks, 21 days of dedication, 21 days of breaking through that tongue-tied feeling, and 21 days of building a more confident, professional version of yourself. Absolutely incredible.
If you've been with us since day 1, you've traveled from the basics of stop saying myself all the way through the high-stakes world of banking, hospitals, and thinking fast. But today is a milestone. Today we are mastering a skill that isn't just for people with sales in their job title. We are talking about the Masterclass of Persuasion.
Think about it. Every day you are selling something. You are selling your ideas, your time, or your skills. Today's episode is about the energy of communication. We are going to dive into the sales mindset, why listening for the gist is more important than talking at 100 miles per hour, and how to use power adjectives to convince anyone.
We'll use the character of Robert Greene, our antiques dealer from the story, as a case study of what not to do, while using the professional linguistics of the U.S. Department of State to show you the gold standard. So, stand up tall, put on your most confident smile, and let's get into the business of English. Absolutely.
Let's start with the foundation, the mindset. Sam, why do so many people fail in sales or negotiations when they speak English as a second language? I see it all the time.
It's because they try to talk too much, Ishani. They think that if they speak English faster at that 100 miles per hour speed mentioned by Ollie Richards, they will seem more fluent or more persuasive. But our sources tell us the exact opposite. Ollie Richards explains that the shock of the real world happens when students realize people don't speak like simplified textbooks.
Exactly. In a sales situation, a customer might have an objection, a question, or a complaint. If you are busy trying to translate every word in your head or worrying about your verb conjugations, you will lose the sale. You will get tongue-tied because your brain is over-processing.
Wow, the secret to sales is extensive learning. Remember the GIST method? When a customer is talking to you, don't try to decode every tiny grammar nugget. Ask yourself, what is the gist of what they need? If you can follow the main idea, you can provide the solution. Absolutely.
As our sources suggest, the feeling of I don't understand everything is completely normal. In a sales negotiation, skipping a difficult detail or an unfamiliar word is actually a mature approach. It allows you to maintain the momentum of the deal. If you get stuck on one word, the negotiation train leaves the station without you.
Wow, look at the character Natalie. She is described as very observant and curious. These are the 2 most important qualities of a great salesperson. You must be observant, notice what the customer likes, and you must be curious, ask them questions. In Dialogue 1.3, Dr. Smith asks Mr. Wilson, in the development program, by any chance?
Look at that phrase, by any chance. It is a polite way to say possibly. In sales, instead of being pushy, you can ask, are you looking for a long-term solution by any chance? This rising intonation, which the sources say is used for yes-no questions to confirm information, makes you sound helpful rather than aggressive.
Absolutely. Once you realize that sales is about the gist of helping someone, the pressure of grammar disappears. Wow, you aren't focusing on your mistakes, you're focusing on their problem.
Now let's get into the practical language of convincing a customer. How do we make someone want what we have? We use the language of emphasis and contrast.
First, let's look at adjectives. In our story, Robert Greene's shop is full of beautiful items and very valuable drawings. Natalie calls the Turner drawings special and original. When you are convincing someone, your choice of adjectives matters. But remember the syllable stress rule from day 12.
Right. If you call something excellent, the stress is on the first syllable, excellent. If you talk about an economist, the stress is on the second, economist. If you misplace the stress, you lose the professional vibe. People won't trust your expertise if you sound like you are guessing the pronunciation.
Next, let's look at the just for emphasis trick. In dialogue 2-8, Linda says, "I'm just glad it's over." The sources explain that just can be used before an adjective for emphasis. As a salesperson, you can say, "This is just what you've been looking for," or "The results are just wonderful."
Wow, it's such a simple word, but it adds so much weight to your claim. It makes the listener feel like there is no other option.
Now let's talk about giving choices. A great salesperson never gives a yes or no choice. They give an A or B choice. Look at the postal clerk in dialogue 2-7. He says, if you send it express, it will get there tomorrow. Or you can send it priority and it will get there by Saturday.
Notice the stress on the word or. The sources tell us that or signals a choice and emphasizes that there is another possibility. In sales, you can say, we can start the project today or we can wait until Monday. What do you think?
And what about the phrase, how about? In dialogue 3-3, Julie suggests, how about playing a board game? The sources say this is a tentative suggestion. It means you are introducing an idea, but you don't want to sound too bossy. In sales, this is a magic phrase.
How about we try the medium size first? Or how about a compromise, as Jake says to Melissa in dialogue 3-8? Absolutely. By using how about and or, you make the customer feel like they're making the decision. That is the ultimate goal of persuasion. You aren't pushing them, you are guiding them. Wow.
All right, let's talk about the part of sales that everyone hates, rejection. The customer says it's too expensive, or I'm not interested, or just a flat no.
Most people feel tongue-tied when they hear no. They either get angry or they just give up. But let's look at the professional way to handle it. In our sources, we have several ways to respond to a situation that isn't perfect.
If a customer turns down an offer, you should use the phrase, no problem. Wait, let's look at the hotel receptionist in dialogue 2-6. When Claire says she needs her car serviced, the receptionist says, no problem. The sources note that the receptionist puts emphasis on no by lengthening the word.
No problem. In this context, it means don't worry about it. If a customer says, I'm not ready to buy yet, you should say, no problem. I understand. Take your time. It keeps the atmosphere friendly.
Another great phrase is don't mention it. In dialogue 1-1, Professor Austin uses this instead of you're welcome. It's a way of downgrading the effort. If a customer says, thanks for the info, but I won't buy today, you say, don't mention it. Happy to help.
But what if you need to show empathy? If a customer says they've had a bad experience with another company, use Jane's phrase from dialogue 1-2. Oh no! The sources say this is a way of saying, I sympathize with you. Or use Nancy's phrase from dialogue 2-3, I know how you feel.
Wow, think about the power of that. If a customer is frustrated and you say, I know how you feel, you have just turned a rejection into a connection. You aren't a salesperson anymore, you are a partner. Absolutely.
And if you need to apologize for a mistake or a high price, use the professional apology. I'm sorry for the inconvenience, or I apologize for the confusion. But then immediately move back to a suggestion. How about we look at a different model?
Handling rejection is about staying friendly and light, just like Claire was with the receptionist. If you stay positive, the door stays open for a sale in the future. Absolutely.
To bring day 21 together, let's do a role play. We're going to imagine a negotiation in Camden Market, but we're going to do it better than Robert Greene.
In Dialogue 2-9, Gloria is shopping for a sweater. Let's use that as our base. I'll be the salesperson. Ishani, you be the customer. Good morning. Can I help you with anything by any chance?
Yes, I'm looking for a sweater in a size medium.
Let's see. Here's a nice white one. What do you think? It's excellent quality.
It looks nice, but I think I'd rather have it in blue.
Absolutely. Here is the blue in a medium. Would you like to try it on?
It fits perfectly, but 50 pounds is a bit expensive for me. I wasn't expecting that price.
I know how you feel. Quality wool can be a bit of an investment. However, this is just...
I know how you feel. Quality wool can be a bit of an investment. However, this is just the style that's trending in London right now. How about a compromise? I can give you a small discount if you take 2 items today.
Let me make up my mind. No, I think I'll just take the one for today. But at the full price, it's too beautiful to leave.
No problem. I'm just glad you found one that fits so well. I appreciate your business.
Wow, did you hear the difference? You used "Can I help you?" with a rising intonation. You used "Let's see" to buy time. You used "I know how you feel" for empathy. And "How about a compromise?" as a tentative suggestion.
Absolutely. You weren't like Robert Greene, who manipulated people and lied. You were professional, you were hardworking, and you were impeccable. Absolutely.
As we conclude this massive Day 21 session, I want to leave you with a final thought on the GIST mindset. In sales, things move fast. The sources tell us that skipping difficult parts is a mature approach.
If a customer asks a question and you don't know the exact professional word, don't stop and panic.
Just explain the gist of the answer. Remember Artur, the gardener? His glasses were broken, so he couldn't see perfectly. He said, "I'm not sure, but I'm almost certain I saw someone leave."
In sales, if you aren't sure of a detail, it's okay to say, "I'm not sure of the exact number right now, but I'm almost certain it's the best in the market." You are a human telling a story, not a robot reciting rules.
And as Lawrence Windsor says in his toast, I sincerely hope that they bring happiness to everyone. Your sale should bring happiness or a solution to your customer.
Once you align your English with a helpful purpose, your fluency will skyrocket.
You won't feel tongue-tied because you aren't thinking about yourself, you are thinking about them. What a beautiful way to speak. Absolutely.
We have reached the end of our 3-week milestone. Claps. Wow. Today we learned to use or for choices, how about for suggestions, and the power of no problem for rejection. You are now a persuasion pro.
Here is your Day 21 challenge. I want you to sell an idea to someone today. It can be a movie to a friend or a dinner choice to your family.
Step 1. Use let's see to buy time. Step 2, use how about to make a suggestion. Step 3, use really or just for emphasis. Step 4, if they say no, respond with a lengthening no problem.
Record your interaction if you can. Listen for your syllable stress. Remember economist and development program. Absolutely, you are doing the work and the results are starting to show.
Tomorrow, for Day 22, we are looking into the future. We will talk about future goals and answer that famous interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? You definitely don't want to miss that.
Thank you for being part of this journey for 21 days. Keep practicing, keep listening for the gist, and keep being awesome. Stay persuasive, stay confident, and as always, happy learning.
Thank you and good night.